I haven't filmed a sit down and see where the heck this video goes video in quite some time, but today I'm here to start a new series called Shameless About Struggling. And with Valentine's Day right around the corner, we are going to talk about one of my favorite things ever in this world, and that is sugar. Yes, I said the demon word, the word that in all diets and health and nutrition articles everywhere is basically being damned because nobody can control themselves around sugar anymore. And I am one of those people that has this struggle. And my friend Miranda, you guys probably know her over at Running Away with Life, she and I are actually teaming up to do this together because we both have some things to say about this struggle, and we wanted to make sure that both of our stories got out to our audiences. So once you're done hearing my struggle about sweets and how I've figured out how to manage it, head over to Miranda's channel and watch her video. I will have her video linked down below. All right, so let's talk a little bit about sugar, shall we? I'll be completely honest, a sweet tooth is what got me into the need for Weight Watchers weight loss predicament in the first place. You guys know that I have always had a sweet tooth. It is just, oh, I love me some sugar. I'm just thinking about the sugar and woo, I'm getting myself all sorts of excited. And that is because I have a sweet tooth. And the struggle with the sweet tooth is very, very real. And I just think that that is something that we should not be ashamed to talk about. I think there are a lot of things that people avoid talking about, and it is important, especially here on YouTube, when people like you are coming to me for advice and honesty about how I'm approaching my weight loss journey and my healthy living journey. I think it would be a shame for me to tell you that, oh no, things are fine. This is how you eat. This is how you lose the weight. These are all of your tips, tricks, and other things. And I do share those things with you. But the reason you guys keep coming back to me is because I'm not afraid to share the struggle. I'm shameless about the struggles in my life, and I have many of them, which is why when Miranda and I were brainstorming things, I literally said something about, it's okay to be shameless, like, we need to be shameless about the struggle, and I went, series idea, because there are so many different struggles that I have, that we all have, and I want to talk about it. Open book style, completely shamelessly. There is no shame here. I struggle with my sweet tooth. It is the reason that I needed Weight Watchers in the first place. It is the reason I needed to lose weight. It is the reason I needed to get my crap together. And once I hit goal, it is the reason that my scale went right back up again. Like, full transparency, that just is what it is. If you want to know the entire story of my weight loss journey, I actually did create a video of all the good, bad, and the ugly, of the beginning weight, the highest weight, goal weight, getting back up, all those things. It's all in that video that I will have linked down below and in a card for you. But we're here today to talk about sugar. The reason that we picked sugar and this particular day to talk about it is Valentine's Day is a week away from today. And what is one of the biggest things that people do and people spend money on and people get as gifts on Valentine's Day? Sweets, right? Not just chocolate, but maybe a molten lava cake, although I guess that's chocolate too. But like, you go out with your date and you have this nice big romantic date and you have 3-course meals and super fancy and you get yourself a nice decadent dessert, or somebody brings you a lovely box of chocolates, or you treat yourself to a lovely box of chocolates, or you're celebrating Singles Awareness Day and you are either drowning your woes in sweet treats or you are celebrating your singleness in sweet treats. Whatever the case may be, Valentine's Day is a day of sugar. That just is what it is. I don't know how that even happened, but it's just a fact of life, at least here in the United States. Which, does Valentine's Day actually get celebrated anywhere else? Yes, it does. When we were in Japan, Valentine's Day got celebrated, but believe it or not, Valentine's Day was a day that the women shower the men with gifts. And then a month later, on March 14th, it is a day that the Japanese men shower gifts on the women, and they call that White Day. Fun fact for you, we were over there during that time, and so we got to witness that entire thing, which was kind of cool. But yes, sugar, oh, sugar is a struggle. And I mean, quite frankly, as I'm sitting here, totally, like, this is a total let's chat. I'm not at all prepared for this video. I don't know what else there is to say about the fact that I struggle with it. Like, the fact is, sugar has constantly been a struggle, especially when I'm unsupervised. And I'm here, y'all know me, I'm a housewife. I stay at home all day while my husband's at work all day. and have complete run of the kitchen. And I also do all the grocery shopping and have complete control over what comes into the kitchen. And when I am being not my best self, there are too many desserts in the house. There's too much sugar in the house. And I do that because I'm convinced. In the moment, in the grocery store, I am 110% convinced that I have the self-control and the self-discipline to be able to take only a serving, only 2 cookies, only a couple of points or bites worth, and then I'll be able to say no. I convince myself of that every freaking time I go to the store and put stuff that I shouldn't put in my cart into my cart. And then I bet you can't guess what happens when I get home. Maybe the first day or 2, it goes great, but inevitably something happens where an entire sleeve of cookies could disappear, or candy, or whatever the heck it is. Whatever it is that I bring home, there is a high likelihood that I end up going on a sugar binge and eat far too much of it. And then the worst part is, when that happens, not only do I feel incredibly guilty because I gave in to my stupid lack of self-discipline and binge ate a whole bunch of sugar, but my body physically feels like crap. I do get, it's not called the dumps for me because I haven't had bariatric surgery, but like when people who have had weight loss surgery eat too much sugar, they get like really bad physical effects of the sugar. And while I don't have anything nearly as extreme as that, I can tell when I have had too much sugar. Sometimes I get a little bit shaky. My heart starts to pound. Sometimes I get a really bad headache, and like, then I'm sitting there feeling terrible, like physically terrible, and going, you did this to yourself. You literally have nobody to blame but yourself. And then it happens again and again and again and again. Another thing that I struggled with up until October, yes, as recently as October, I was the queen of like, while I'm out grocery shopping, because I have total control. I do all the grocery shopping, right? While I was out grocery shopping, I would always sneak a little something for myself. But that little something, and like eat it on the car ride home. Eat it on the car ride home. So for example, it could be a Kit Kat bar, or a candy bar or something that was on sale, or a cupcake, or some edible cookie dough, or one of those Walmart, oh my gosh, I haven't thought about these in so long because I haven't been to Walmart since before we moved. The Walmart bakery has the most delicious gooey butter cakes in the world, but I can eat the whole thing in one sitting. There's 6 servings in that bad boy. Yeah, 6 servings in that bad boy, and I could eat it in one, easy, on the car ride home if I wanted to. Like, truly, truly. Once I only ate half and I saved half of it for later. That was empowerment that day. True story. Like, the struggle is real and it's horrible. It's horrible. My friends, I'm here today to tell you that if you struggle with the sugar monster, you are not alone. You are absolutely not alone. I am right there with you. But I have finally, maybe, and I can only say this because I have been feeling very, very on point for about a week and a half now, but I feel like, for now, the sugar monster is actually in its cage. It's under control. And as long as I keep the sugar monster in its cage, most of the time, I can invite it out. I can unlock the cage, and I'm currently like picturing Gracie in my head. She's also right there. But like when we crate her up at night, and then you let her out in the morning, and then you put her away at night, you know? Like, so you have control over this beast. And right now I have control over this beast. So if you feel completely hopeless, like your sugar monster is this raging dragon from Khaleesi herself that just wiped out an entire city, spoiler alert, you're not alone, but there is a way to tame the dragon. And I'm going to tell you the couple of things that I have done that have really significantly helped me tame my dragon. And now, like currently, in this moment, in real time, I am completely and utterly in control of my sugar dragon, my sugar monster. And sugar dragon hasn't come out to play in a really long time, which has felt magnificent. But it is because of some dietary changes that I have made. And they're not gonna come as a surprise to anybody who has been on my channel for any extended length of time, because it's me getting back on track with things that I really enjoyed doing in the past that I kind of really loosened the reins on over the holiday season. That's, you know, shocker. I loosened the reins during the holiday season. I want to get into a couple of things that I do that really help the sugar monster in me. And the first thing that I'm doing is I am back on focusing on the Fab4 way of eating, which is a term coined by Kelly LeVeque from Body Love. You guys have heard me say this about 1 billion times now. But the focus of that diet is fat, fiber, protein, and greens. That is what all of your meals should be comprised of. So I have been spending a lot more time focusing on the fat element, not fat and sugar. Big difference there, because that if you skyrocket the fat and the carbs, I mean, that's literally what the sugar monster feeds off of. But the fat, like avocado, and like the Primal Kitchen avocado oil products and mayonnaise and cheeses and things that don't have the sugar and the carbs to back it up, that's just fat. That's what I'm talking about. Almond butter, things like that, and protein. You guys, the last handful of weeks, I have focused incredibly hard on eating at least 100 grams of protein a day. And the second I started doing that, I feel like everything changed for me. Everything in terms of taming the sugar beast, because 100 grams of protein is a lot of protein. I really actually wish I could get a little bit more, but as long as I cross the 100 mark, I should be getting like 120. But as long as I get to 100, I feel satisfied with my day. Doing that has satisfied my hunger so much that, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce, and I don't know how this is gonna go. This is the first time of the month that I am doing this, but I am in the middle of PMS week, where things normally don't go well for me. They just don't. I am ravenously hungry. I lose control a little bit. I loosen the reins a little bit because sometimes I just need the extra to satisfy the ravenousness, because it's literally, it's not like I just want to eat. I literally can't satiate myself. I have not been having that problem this week at all, at all. The last 3 nights, I haven't had dessert that wasn't protein based. I'm working on a couple of recipes, and well, one recipe really, that you can change the flavor of for a protein cookie dough frosting type thing. And I've been eating that. So much it was like 24 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, and really satisfying. Like, satisfies the sweet tooth with little to no sugar, which is the key. I got the protein, I got my brain thinks I had a dessert, and I got some fat and fiber. Like, I got all the things, and so I tricked my brain into thinking I had dessert. I haven't had a real dessert in days. Days, my friends. And I feel incredible because of it. So, why am I telling you this? Why am I going on this long vent about this in the Fab4 and how it's been helping me? A, protein has really, really helped. B, you're not going to want to hear it, but the thing that is going to help you tame the beast the most is to keep the beast in its cage for as long as possible. It is, and I am the person who loves to have a dessert every night, and I still have things, well, this kind of gets into thing number 3. The less sugar you eat, the less you're going to want it. That's basically the bottom line. And so that's what I've learned through this, and I was like, oh, if I keep focusing, I'm so focused on this protein goal, and I'm so focused on making sure I get enough healthy fat in my life, that I don't even have time to think about sugar. Like, and it's been phenomenal. So the less I eat, the less I want it. And it's been incredibly helpful. The next tip I have for you is find legitimate substitutes. Legitimate, satisfying substitutes. I learned the hard way in Japan. Again, Japan taught me a lot about myself and about the Japanese culture, but a lot about myself. Japan is where I really started to put the weight back on. And one of the primary reasons that that was the case was because the sweet food, the desserts in Japan, were not laden with sugar and fat like they were in like they are in America. Yes, they had sugar and they had fat and they had all those things, but it wasn't up to the level enough that it satisfied me. And because of that, I kept hunting for the thing that was gonna satisfy the sugar beast, and in turn, I ended up eating all the calories but never finding something to satisfy the sugar beast. It was brutal. It was terrible. All the pastries, all the things, all the cakes weren't sweet enough. Like, that's when you know you have a problem. And that's when my weight started to go back on. And so if you don't find something that actually satisfies you, it doesn't matter if other people think it's a dessert substitute. are a legit sugar sweet treat substitute. If it doesn't satisfy you, it's not going to work. So you need to find sweet treats that work for you. A couple of mine are, believe it or not, Built Bars. There's a reason that I keep talking about them. The company I feel like is a little bit shady, but at the end of the day, they're good products, which is why I still keep telling you about my code, which is now Diva 2020. By the way, it gets you a 10% discount. But like, that's why I keep telling you about them, because they're good. They're really, really good. And they're covered in chocolate. And I actually feel like I'm eating a candy bar. And I get protein. And I get fiber. And it's low sugar. And like, it literally checks all the boxes. And especially now with like the peanut butter brownie flavor, or the banana bread flavor, or the specifically like the mint brownie flavor and the coconut almond flavor. The coconut almond flavor makes me feel like I am eating an Almond Joy bar. And my brain legitimately goes, you just had candy. You're happy. And it was 4 points. And it was 15 grams of protein. Like, you can't lose. You can't lose. Another thing that I really like are the old Fiber One bars, which are 90 calories and actually have sugar in them instead of erythritol, but they got some fiber in there too, which is why I like them so much. So for me, on the iTrack by Its Carb Conscious plan, there are 2. For everybody else, those particular ones are 4, which is why they took them all away, and now they're 70 calories and taste like poop, in my opinion. But those used to be a very satisfying treat for me. Dough Bar donuts are a very satisfying treat for me that also have protein in them. And then things like Smart Sweets, which are super high in fiber and let me feel like I'm eating candy. My point is, I have found substitutes that trigger my brain that say, yes, you've had dessert, you're good to go, and shuts up the monster with very small point in caloric impact. So that's really important. Find something that works for you. Just because it works for me doesn't necessarily mean it works for you. If you don't like gummy treats, you're not gonna like Smart Sweets. If you don't love Built Bars, then don't buy them. They won't be for you, but they are what works for me. Another tip I have for you is make sure you keep all of the sweet treats, the sugar, out of sight. You cannot put them in a place in your house that you are regularly going to see. So if you go to like the regular pantry for other kinds of snacks or protein bars or whatever it is you need to reach, and you have sweets right there, you're gonna see them and you're going to want them. I have started keeping all of my sweet treats down in the basement, which means not only are they completely out of sight, I won't even run into them in my kitchen. Like, no problem. But we have an unfinished basement with unfinished stairs. So it is actually physically painful for me to walk down those stairs without hard soles on the bottom of my feet. Which means if I decide I want something, I have to decide that I want to eat it. I was going to say decide that I want to sabotage myself, even if it's not a sabotage situation. I have to decide that I want to eat it. I have to go and put socks and shoes on, and I have to walk all the way downstairs just to walk all the way back up just to get the thing that I want to eat. Sometimes it's going to be worth it. A lot of times it's not going to be, and that's enough to stop me. And then my last tip for you is actually just taking that, getting them out of your way, hiding them, all that jazz, taking that a step further. Don't even bring it into the house. Just don't. Just don't. If you cannot be trusted with sugar, don't bring it into the house. And you get a multitude of benefits when you do this. For one, your grocery bill goes down. We are clocking in at under our grocery bill this month, and usually I end up going over because we buy treats and then also all of the good healthy things that I like to eat. We eliminated the treats part of the bill. No treats came into our house as extra in the month of January because we still had leftovers. So it's not like we haven't had sweet treats around. Nothing new came in. I've forgotten about some of the other things that were around here. I shunned a bunch of things to the basement. Like, we're doing so well this month. And it's because I didn't bring anything into the house. So you save money. Next, you get rid of the temptation. If you're somebody who is not stopped by going downstairs or having them getting hid in a cabinet above where you can reach, which is something I've had my husband do in the past. I've had him deliberately put something out of my reach so I can't get to it while he's not home. But if you are not suffering from a physical disability, that means you can't lift your arms up over your head like me, that doesn't stop you. You shouldn't bring it into the house. Instead, here is what I do. Because what I'm not saying is deprive yourself completely. I am somebody who firmly believes in balance. I firmly believe in everything in moderation, and I love sugar. I'm not giving it up. There's a reason I switched back to the carb conscious plan instead of sticking with WW, which actually penalizes you for sugar content. I'm not saying give up the things you love. But one of the techniques that I have started using that works so well is, let's say I want a cupcake. I want a good freaking cupcake, or I want a really good cookie, or I want whatever the case may be. It is wiser for me to go out to, let's say Nothing Bun Cakes, because I love that store. It is better for me in terms of points and mentality and all of those things to go to a Nothing Bun Cake store, spend a little extra money, I think for like around $4 or whatever, for one buntlet, spend 20 points on it, eat it all in one sitting, and not have any more in the house. That is better for me than having a case of mini cupcakes in the house with the intention of only eating one at a time. That's never gonna happen. So it's easier for me to be like, let's go to the bakery, or let's have dessert with dinner, or babe, would you like to go out for ice cream and we can treat ourselves? That is a wiser choice for me, to spend more points up front, but it satisfies the sweet tooth, it shuts off deprivation mindset, it costs a little bit more, but you're not bringing it home. You're not bringing it home to torment you for days and days and days. It's a one and done situation. You literally get to have your cake and eat it too. It's a win-win situation. So there's my thoughts on struggling with sweets. There are a lot of us that do it, and if you are one of those people that is not impacted by sugar, that is not tempted by sugar, more power to you, because I am absolutely not one of those people. And so I needed to put guardrails in place and things in place to help tame the sugar dragon. And as of right now, I've finally got her under control, and I'm so very thankful for that. So I hope these tips helped you guys out, and I hope you related to this conversation. Don't forget that you need to go and check out Miranda's video, because she will have something similar, and I'm dying to know what her tips for struggling with sugar are and what her story about struggling with sugar is, because I know that struggling with sugar is one of the things that made her need to join Weight Watchers as well. So the link to her video will be down below. Go ahead and check that out. As for this new series, Shameless About Struggling, if you have any suggestions about things that you want to hear me talk about vulnerably and freely, I'm an open book, as you guys know. What would you like to hear? What struggles do you want to hear more about, because you're struggling with them too? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope this impacted you positively in some way. I hope you have a very happy week leading up to Valentine's Day. Whether you have a Valentine or not, it is a great day to celebrate yourself with a little bit of self-love that can, but doesn't have to, involve a little sweet treat. Take care, you guys.